Greetings folks, this video is going to be all about FPV goggles and not Fat Shark. This is the Skyzone SKY01S goggles, the upgraded version, 48 channel diversity receivers. It has a front facing camera as well, which is a bit of a novelty. No inbuilt DVR. Priced about the same or a little bit cheaper than the Commander goggles, V1 goggles. These are the goggles that I use most of all. I quite like them. They're not perfect by any means, but they do come with decent antennas and an inbuilt DVR. Not a very good one. Only does what is it, 3:2 aspect ratio recording. All of my FPV is widescreen 16:9 cruising around on planes, so I like the 16:9 DVR recording if I'm going to record DVR. The cheapest entry-level goggles are these Eachine EV100s. They are very much entry-level. They're okay, they're quite usable, by far the cheapest. They don't have diversity. They have two antennas, but it's not actually diversity antennas. It's just one receiver using two antennas. The angle of view is quite narrow, still quite usable. I'm not too fussed about that at all. Yeah, reasonably good featured, and they suited my eyes quite okay. If you're struggling for cash, you might consider these as your first FPV goggles. The next level up, then you've got to decide whether you want to go for the big head box style goggles. These are the head plays, an enormous 7-inch screen, a real cinematic experience. I do really like them. They don't have diversity receivers, only a single receiver. For the view in the goggles, it's just quite stunning, almost a little bit too big. If you're trying to read a on-screen display with these goggles, it's really hard to look up into the corners and see all the text on screen. Although it's a fantastic view, it's like sitting too close to your TV basically. You get this great big wide view, but it's a wide view of a standard definition FPV feed. So great feeling, but it is a very big box on your head, very sort of cumbersome and awkward. That's why I like these smaller dual screen goggles. They're just a lot more convenient on your head, easier to transport, and not a super big view like the big screen, but a nice, sharper, smaller angle of view. The angle of view on these is 32 degrees, I think. It's nice 16:9 or 4:3 aspect ratio image. On the Skyzones, it's fixed at 16:9, which is fine by me. Maybe not if you're into 4:3 aspect ratio cameras. And they say it's about a 30-degree angle of view, but I'll do a comparison between the two anyway. One of the most important things about FPV goggles is how comfortable and how well they fit on your face. The Commanders, I have quite a broad face and a wide intrapupillary distance, IPD, and the Commanders are not quite right. I'm always wanting to pull the screens out further apart. I can get a reasonable view, but the goggles have to be in exactly the right spot on my face. If they sort of just tilt a little bit or droop down, I'll get a blurry image in one eye and a good image in the other eye. So that's where these fall down. They just don't fit my face all that well. My initial trial of the Skyzones, they fit very nicely. They are wide enough to fit my face. I can comfortably see the whole screen sharply. They just seem to fit on my face a little bit better. They have rubber eye cups, which maybe aren't as comfortable, and you can buy an add-on face, sort of foam face plate from Banggood, which I have purchased, only about 10, 15 bucks, something like that. So when that comes, I'll try that as well. So looking at some of the specs, we've got built-in dual diversity receiver, built-in wide-angle front-facing camera. Have to try that out. That's a novelty. Resolution 854 by 480, 6 bands, 48 channels, and 2S to 6S LiPo battery to charge to power them. Little manual there, and we get this really nice carry case, big enough to put all your bits and pieces in. Lots and lots of different connection cables. There's the battery power cable, which is a very big long cable, so it's good in one way. You can put the battery down on your belt or on the chair beside you or something like that, but if you want to just have everything on your head, then that's a big cable to to deal with. AV in cable. Oh yes, these come with head tracker built in. The eSheens version 1 don't have a head tracker built in. The version 2s do have a head tracker. This comes with a head tracker. That'll be interesting to try. It just comes with rubber ducky antennas, so you would have to put some decent antennas on yourself. Different sorts of ins and outs, head tracker cables for just about all the different radio systems, which is good because when you're doing head tracking you have to connect the goggles to your transmitter. So there's the rubber cup eye pieces, which I don't find all that comfortable, I don't think. Might have to get used to it. Only one headband. I found I would like a top headband as well. Let's try them on and see. No, they're reasonably comfortable, not too bad really. I can see a bit of light glow coming in from the side, sort of orange light glow. And I can see a little bit of the sky coming in through beside the antenna connection. So I guess when the antennas go on, that'll block that out, hopefully. On the top deck we have volume plus and minus buttons, the front-facing camera, turning it on and off. You'd think this was the front-facing camera, but that's actually the little menu selection joystick, band and channel, and head tracker. On the underneath we have the head tracker connection, IPD adjustment. They are very nice indeed. AV out, AV in, and earplugs out. It's got a little 3S 1300. Plug it in, and it fires up. And I'll show you a close-up of the image, and it does look a little bit narrower angle than the Commanders, but not by much. It's fairly close. It's a very, very nice image and very easy for me to focus on too, and it's just the right interpupillary distance, just comfortable. Alright, I'll attempt to show you some of the on-screen display stuff, just with the camera pointing into the goggles. So this is the front-facing camera view, which is 4:3 aspect ratio stretched out, I would think. Back to FPV view. Now if you push and hold the camera button, it'll go into the scan, and it has a really nice visual scan screen. Shows you each frequency and the reception, which is great. Just stops on the strongest signal. Push and hold to get out of that. Can change the band button using the buttons on the top right. Flip through the bands. Flip through the channels as well. But that scan screen is really good, I think. Push and hold the track button, and you get the menu for the head tracker. I'll go through them when the head tracker is connected up. You can choose the channel that the head tracker is connected to and the angle of pan and tilt and all that sort of stuff, but let's play with that a bit later on. Now if we push and hold the center joystick button, we get the setup screen, and you can adjust all of those parameters there, all those color parameters, and we're back to the normal screen. So that's all the adjustments you have. Now we just need to take it out for a fly, I guess. Alright, I'm going to be testing out all these goggles on my little car here. I have FPV camera on there, HD camera there, FPV recording, and I'm just going to go through all the different goggles and tell you what I think of them. Starting off with my usual goggles, which are the Aomway Commanders. Pretty good view, but I do have to get them in exactly the right spot. Alright, we're ready to go. This is my slope soaring spot. But yeah, good view, nice, plenty big enough, 16.9, nice 16.9, I like that. do like to adjust them to get it just right. Pretty good now. These goggles have a inbuilt fan, which is good. If it starts steaming up, you can turn the fan on. You can actually put a head tracker in here, which I have done, but they're a bit hard to buy. The next version of these goggles have the head tracker built in. Alright, let's switch to something else. So now we're trying the Skyzones. Battery's going to go in my pocket. This is a very nice view. There's a fair bit of light coming in around the sides once I get them in the right spot. Just slightly smaller than the Commanders. A little bit uncomfortable sitting on my face. I just need a bit of adjustment. That's better. Alright, we're off again. It's a little bit uncomfortable on my cheek. The hard rubber eye cup is just sort of biting into me under my eye socket a bit. So I think it'll be better with the face plate that I've ordered. So the actual image is very nice, very easy to focus on, and probably easier to focus on than the Commanders, I think. Just that it's sort of biting into my skin a bit, those hard rubber eye cups. Could be improved, but it's pretty good. So dealing with this cord is a bit of a hassle. You'd have to get that sorted out. What I need to do is switch to the camera, front camera. Oh, there we go. So I can go and pick up the car. Oh, that's pretty cool. Whoop, but it's an extremely wide angle view, so you're a lot closer than you think you are. But you can certainly use it like that. That's good. Alright, time for the Eachine EV100s. So it's a much smaller, much darker view. The diopter adjustment works well. Oh, there we go. Yeah, good to go now. So there's nothing wrong with this for this sort of easy cruising around. So this is the 4:3 aspect ratio view, so I'll have to show you the squish down view. It's the way it's adjusted at the moment, it's darker and a bit more colourful. Doesn't look too bad really. For this sort of FPV, there's nothing wrong with it. That would work fine. It's quite windy at the moment. Alright, time for the head plays. Whoa! So I've had to sort of change the way my eyes are aligned, because we're only looking at one screen now. It's a big view. It's a bit weird because you have to look around all over the place. Early dolly, this is a bit too much. Well, it's actually a bit hard to look at the view and drive the car with these big goggles. Oh, there's just too much movement. God, Jesus, this would make you dizzy, I think. And the problem with these things is you can't really wear them on your head like that. They just slip down into your eyes, which is terrible. So I really think the head plays are not really suited to this sort of view. With it jiggling around like that, there's just a little bit too much image movement in that big wide screen. Be fine for gliding around. Ooh, but no, it's not a comfortable view, I'd say. Alright, let's go back to the Skyzones again. I can see that my antenna's down a little bit. So these Skyzone 01S goggles, they've been around for quite a while. and I think they're just about out of stock on Banggood, so you may not be able to buy them, but they're certainly equal to all the other goggles, even better than some of the others, better than the E-Sheens, better than the head plates for some situations, and just a better fit really than the Commanders, and better inter-pupil distance for me. Okay, they're all available on Banggood. I'll give you links for all of them, and thanks for watching.